It's Grown Folks Radio, ladies and gentlemen. My special guest, as we talked about earlier today, Miss Teresa Tomlinson. She's mayoral candidate, and welcome to Magic 101.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Good. I understand that you have a mailer going out saying that you are actually opening a campaign headquarters. Ms. Tomlinson,
right.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, on March 27th, which is a Saturday, we're having a 4-hour event from 10 to 2. We're going to have barbecue, balloons, T-shirts, a band, all that good stuff. And also we'll have a special program from 11 to 11:45 when we'll have some supporters speak, and I'll give a little talk too. So it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have the All-Star Band, and it's going to be a big time.
Yeah. Now, where is this located again?
Yeah, it's actually on 1870 Midtown Drive, which is the old Verizon building right in between Captain D's and Kmart on Macon Road.
Yeah, so on Macon Road, right behind Captain D's, where we used to pay our phone bill.
That's exactly right.
Good,
that's exactly right. Yeah.
So this campaign headquarters will open this Saturday. I should say Saturday, March 27th.
Yes, that's March 27th. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have a big blowout that first day, and then after that, you can find me there every single day when I'm not out at forums and talking to groups. So.
Yeah. Now, for people who, a lot of people are familiar with you in that you had the Midtown Inc.
That's right.
But is there a conflict where I understand from knowing you had to come out of there? What's the conflict?
Yeah, I had to. I tendered my resignation in order to run full time for mayor because Midtown Inc. is a nonprofit organization. It's supported by individuals and businesses through tax deductible contributions, and of course, you cannot mix politics and nonprofit organizations, and we didn't want there to be any question whatsoever because the Midtown's doing important work, and that's economic community renewal, and we need to let them get on with continuing the good work that we've been working on together here for these past 4 or so years.
Very good.
Yeah.
My guest right now, Miss Teresa Tomlinson. She is running for mayor, and the election is going to be in November, and we got her in to talk about a few things prior to a big remote that you have scheduled for the 27th.
Yes, yes.
Well, let's talk about a couple of things for people who may not know how you come down on some issues here.
Yeah.
How would you come down in terms of the mayor's ability to get people to work in Columbus, Georgia, with jobs and stuff?
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. I mean, Edgar, as you know, we've had populations moving out of Columbus. They're populating Harris, Lee, and Russell County. And the one thing about that is jobs follow population. Mm-hmm. Jobs follow population. So when we look at South Columbus and Midtown Columbus and we see that there's not a lot of jobs down there in close proximity to some of the neighborhoods, it's because those populations have been trending down for years. So as mayor, one of the major thrusts of this campaign, one of the things I'll do as mayor is begin to bring those populations back to South Columbus, bringing in new neighborhoods close to Fort Benning and bringing in the jobs that will follow. Right now, a lot of the jobs that are coming as a result of BRAC are actually following the populations to North Columbus and out to Lee and Russell County. We can't allow that to happen. I mean, the city has to get on the front side of that, and that's what I've been doing with Midtown Inc. all these years.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I have experience doing that and can actually get the job done.
All right. Well, what about in terms of education? We see that there was a story in the paper about the CRCT testing, and
yes.
there are people laying off teachers in certain places.
Yeah.
A lot of issues with the education system. What's your views on education for Muskogee County?
Well, I tell you what, it's been so devastating with these state cutbacks and the teachers having to be put on furlough and the kids having even less days now that they can, go to school. We need more education, not less education. Yeah. But I will tell you, the thing that I think is a chronic problem, chronic issue for Muskogee County, a lot of other cities, is that we have schools that we can readily identify as being those schools where there are kids that are economically disadvantaged. And then there are other public schools where we have kids that are economically well advantaged. Mm-hmm. And that shouldn't be the case. Mm-hmm. That's the result of really poor planning and allowing these populations, as I was saying earlier, to move to certain segments of our community, leaving behind those people less mobile. And we know for a fact people that are less mobile tend to be the elderly mm-hmm. and those in poverty. And so when you allow your community to grow in a way where you have whole segments that are in poverty or at or near the poverty line, you have planned your community poorly. If we can get what I like to call economic integration, which is people at all economic levels living throughout Columbus, we can begin to fortify our schools again so we have kids with all levels of resources going to these schools. Right now, some of our schools, Edgar, when the kids come to school, those teachers are dealing with the fact that the kid's not dressed appropriately for the weather, mm-hmm. doesn't have a coat, that doesn't have the basic things that they need. And when you put a large population of kids dealing with those kind of economic issues at one school, before they can even get to crack a book, those teachers are dealing with social and economic issues. We need to get balance back in our schools where they reflect the entirety of our community.
I like that phrase, economic integration. Did you coin that? Is that original?
Yeah, actually,
Really?
I talk about it a lot. I don't know that I coined it, but it's actually something you see communities employing throughout the country. What's happened in Columbus is not unique. It's actually things that have happened in other cities, and it's a problem because when you start segregating your neighborhoods by economic, you have yourself a problem. And it reflects itself in the schools. It reflects itself to high unemployment levels in certain regions. And I say, let's talk about it. Let's get frank about it. Let's put this on the table. We have got to find a way that we do not segment or segregate our communities by economic, by poverty and wealth. And that can be done. Other communities have done it successfully. I've been there. I've visited them. And I can employ those type of techniques here, too.
We're talking with mayoral candidate Teresa Tomlinson here to announce the campaign headquarters grand opening. It will be on Saturday, March 27th, 10 till 2, and the address is 1870 Midtown Drive, right by Kmart and behind the Captain D's. Ms. Tomlinson, I'd like to ask you something. For a lot of men will be listening to the radio. A lot of men will be paying attention to the news. They'll read flyers and stuff like that. And they feel like women are different from men. They feel like women are emotional and they'll be soft-hearted and stuff like that. Now, in terms of crime and toughness,
sure.
Where do you come down in terms of that?
Well, it's pretty interesting, the generalization you just said. Of course, I like to think of myself as a nice person. I think people that know me think I'm a nice person, but I'm tough too, very tough.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, in my family, it was just my sister and I, but my father used to say, when your mother gets home, I'm going to tell her, and there may be a lot of people listening to this that grew up with very strong women that were a no-nonsense. So as far as crime and being the head of public safety of this city, I can tell you this. The city does not need two chiefs of police. We have one chief of police. That's what we need. What we need is a chief executive of the city that can keep in line the public safety and balance the needs of public safety against the needs of the citizen. And that I'm very capable of doing. I have a very strong history of being able to manage companies. I own 2 small businesses. I also was the managing partner of my law firm for 16 years here in Columbus, Georgia. And I know well how government works. I've been involved in government all my adult life, volunteering, sitting on boards. And I've actually been working with the chief of police and police officers now for many years, setting up Crime Watch and neighborhood associations. So I'm very familiar with public safety in Columbus. And I tell the public safety officers this. As mayor, they will have me guarding their flank in this sense. They will be doing their enforcement job, and I will be seeing to it that the city is working as hard as it can to prevent crime through economic opportunities.
Just have a couple of minutes left. Are you aligned with Fort Benning pretty good? Are you connected over there so that we can really realize some of their
Sure. Well, actually, I chaired the Strategic Communications Committee for the BRAC study that the Valley Partnership did. And I don't know if you knew that, but actually, I've been very involved in the BRAC process. One thing and do have relationships, of course, at Fort Benning. In fact, I'll be speaking this Thursday to 300 to 400 people at Fort Benning for Women's History Month. I was selected by General Federer and some others there to speak as the keynote speaker. So, yes, have relationships there, and you can guarantee that will only improve. We need to do all we can to keep the military men and women who are associated with Fort Benning here living in Columbus.
Teresa Tomlinson with Vision, Energy, and Action. The grand opening of her headquarters will be on March 27th. That's a Saturday on Midtown Drive, right by Hazel's Flowers and Gifts and Captain D's, as a matter of fact. And we'd love to see you out there. Ms. Tomlinson, thank you for taking the time.
Thank you very much.